Hey everyone, and welcome to 10 Trends You Might See in 2017 because of the NAMM show. The first trend I saw was the new faded paint look. In fact, there's a Suhr guitar right here, and it was everywhere. It was on Kiesel, it was on Paul Reed Smith, it was on Ibanez. Whether it was stained or painted opaque, it was definitely a trend you saw everywhere. In fact, next to the Suhr guitar, this is a Cort guitar. So there's a $3,000 and a $300 guitar, both the same look. It was everywhere. It's definitely a new trend you're going to see in 2017. The second trend is pedals. It doesn't look like they're going anywhere. There was so many pedals. Yep, that's a lot of pedals. So anyways, the point is a lot of pedals, but there was one pedal company stuck out to me, and that was Beatronics. Check this out. What's interesting was they made a fuzz up and fuzz down pedal for $280 and that are truly unique. And when I say truly unique, I mean no two pedals are alike. Each one is a work of art. But more importantly, there was just so many pedals. One company even offered $35 mini pedals that you could buy at cost and put any brand on them. You'll probably see a lot of those on Reverb. So if you start seeing the same flanger mini pedal with 20 different brands on it real soon, that's because that was available to anyone that was crazy enough to buy them and stick a name on it. This next company, I'm not going to tell you the name of the company because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I want to explain how interesting it is when you bring the entire world into one building. And, you know, people are from different places and we have different cultures and different ideologies and different views of what would be cool. One company in particular had a really cool tie-dyed bodied guitar, check that out, but it wasn't doing very well, and they seemed a little perplexed on why these guitars weren't getting more attention at their booth. Let me give you the full shot of the guitar. There's just something, I don't know what it is, about this guitar that's just a little interesting. And here's a close-up of the headstock again. A very interesting look. I don't know if it's going to catch on in 2017. Number 4 is a new interesting trend. It's basically a new company called Boutique Amps, and they've been around for many years, but there's a new idea in town. And basically what they're doing is they're combining a lot of small companies and combining the resources. So you're in one house, in one building, you're going to have Wampler pedals, Frank Falbo, Friedman amps and pedals, Bogner pedals, 65 amps and pedals, Morgan amps and pedals, Tone King amps, Agnator amps and pedals, and that's just to name a little bit of it. And basically what they're doing is they're bringing it all in-house, so it has mass distribution powers, and it's still in the United States. The Agnator stuff is made overseas, but the majority of the stuff is made in the United States. This is giving them an interesting opportunity because now you get to go ahead and have Brian Wampler help Dave Friedman figure out pedals, and Dave Friedman help out Brian Wampler on amps, and Frank Falbo help Dave Friedman figure out guitars. They're pulling these resources, these great minds together to design product together. And this deal is not an ownership deal. There's all kinds of plays and things in play here. There's basically a distribution deal where maybe this company's only distributing the product for one manufacturer, or maybe it's building the product. There's a lot of different deals, and it's an interesting concept because it takes us away from the old school idea of, hey, I make this product expensive, and then if I want an affordable one, I just go overseas and make an import version of it. This is an opportunity to bring the resources together, bring prices down or keep the prices under control, and give more value and distribution to all of us. Number 5 is definitely a trend, and it's this new pedal board amp concept. I had seen so many, and it was interesting to me when every manufacturer I talked to said, we have a great new idea, and I said, please do tell. And it was like, we're going to build an amplifier. This one is the hot one, 50 watt pedal that is going to be on the floor, and it's a powered amplifier, and you plug your pedals into it. Seymour Duncan came out with one that's on the floor as well, as long as a rack mount or rack ready or standalone amplifier for pedals. Brian Wampler has a standalone amplifier for pedals. Demeter Amps has a new pedal, the power amps, or an amplifier that will, for your pedal board. Vox has new micro heads and my amplifiers that are 50 watts. There was a lot of companies making small amplifiers or lightweight amplifiers designed to really just be the platform for your pedals to put into. And this trend is definitely going to be a thing because everyone's doing it. So I'm assuming if no one buys it, they'll all stop. But at this point, they obviously believe that it's going to be huge with us pedal geeks. Another trend that's going to be popular is skipping the NAMM show. It seems like a lot of people skip the NAMM show, and it's been happening more and more each year. This year, the absentee list was pretty huge on the vendor side. It was Mesa Boogie, GNL, Rivera, Bogner Amps, Saldano, Jet City, right? It just goes on and on. You're going to see more and more vendors maybe pushing to media outlets. In other words, doing more out in social media, getting out there one-on-one with us in a different way than using the NAMM profile. Another trend for the last couple years, or maybe even last decade, that's definitely going to be continuing in 2017, according to the NAMM, is dropping the price or making less expensive product lines. Let me give you an example. Stuff like the affordable LBX series by EVH has been expanded now with an amp having clean channel. These prices at $700 and $600 are far cry less than the $1,900 100-watt amps that they started with. Amps like Sunzera by Paul Reed Smith in the $700-800 range, $900 range, far cry less than their $2,000 range amplifiers they've been toying with for the last couple of years. You're seeing more affordable guitars than I've ever seen from Jackson, including these interesting 7-string like neck-through Telecaster hardtail body style guitars sitting in the $600-700 range. You have the new affordable Artist series by Misha Mansour and Marty Friedman, right? And so every guitar that was a $4,000 guitar had a $400 equivalent, or let's say if it was a $3,000 guitar, it also had like a $1,000 equivalent. This is a trend change, again, like a jump the shark kind of feel. It looks like the Relic guitars are becoming a thing of the past. Although there was a couple companies like Friedman that had Relic guitars that kind of had that Fano kind of look. And although Fender Custom Shop's still making Relic guitars, you could see the majority of the custom shop that they were showing were these interesting and exotic looking paint jobs and ornate looking guitars. Back to what you're seeing again, you know, colorful flame paint jobs and stuff. Really, in other words, you saw a lot of companies making high-end guitars again with these crazy finishes and beautiful looks instead of going for the traditional last few years look of just guitars that look like they were beaten up a little bit or played very well. Not that Relic is totally gone, you just see that the trend is definitely going away from the Relic guitars. The big tell, of course, was they were almost absent in every category in the inexpensive lines. You saw very few to no Relic guitars in the affordable category, which means that's the price we're really moving a lot of products. So you saw where they were looking at volume sales, they were backing away from those looks. Number 9 is actually the most interesting trend change that I've seen in a decade, which is less focus put on the old vintage going back to idea and more focus put on the new innovative idea. Let me give an example. Although some companies like Ibanez celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Gem guitars and brought those back, there was more focus in almost every company on putting in new exciting products. Again, Fender really not pushing the old vintage thing again, but pushing professional guitars. Their new series that replaced the standard. In other words, being updated. Ibanez had tons of updated looks on their guitars. They were very exotic looking with new feature sets. You kept seeing it everywhere. It was definitely a vibe of, hey, let's put a new look or vibe on this guitar. And so what was interesting about that was it was nice to see that innovation is coming back instead of the old vintage look. Although the vintage idea to do it the way you used to is great. I saw in the pickup industry a lot of focus on new pickup designs, half hybrid, active and passive pickups, new concepts in pickups. Although vintage is fantastic, it's just nice to see the industry kind of move after so much time being in that category. The new trend is going to be innovation again. Another trend that's come to pass is the booth babe. This year, I only saw about 2 guitar companies have booth babes. And if you know what those are the girls that they have and they come kind of scantily clad and they stand next to the guitars. What was put in place then was actually the interesting part. What I saw more of was booths where they had young artists, up and coming artists, playing the instruments or playing the products. And I thought, this is what I want to see. I want to see people, musicians, using the gear. And I was like, that's how it's going to sound, or that's how it's going to work. It was really interesting to see them. I found myself asking them questions like, what do you think of it? And how long have you had to use it? Well, there you have it. 10 trends the NAMM show has showed us for 2017. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe. I do videos every single week. And if you like this video, hit thumbs up. It just lets me know you like the video, and please leave comments. I always miss stuff at the NAMM show. And of course, if you were at the NAMM show and you saw it, please leave comments. And as always, thank you for your time and know your gear.